Okay, so starting on exploration two, it's about how resources can be modeled as kind of a life cycle. So you take it out of the ground, and then what happens to that product for it to go into a store. So someone can use it, then it gets thrown away, and what does that cycle look like? So they say something that you use in school. So the first thing I thought about actually was a pencil because they have this pencil right here. So given that my drawing skills are limited, I'm going to use this line here to be my pencil. Right, so there's a whole line, and then I have a line here. So you've got the pencil, and then it comes from the wood. So you have an arrow right here, the wood going in this direction. Man, hard to make an arrow. Here's my little arrow. So you have a pencil, and then the arrow comes this way. And it's taken from the wood. So I need to write that. Wood. Oof. Yours looks better than mine, but wood is right here as the pencil. Maybe I can make it a little bit smaller here. Pencil. Pencil. So then there's an arrow, and then you use it in the classroom, right? It helps you to write. To write it. And then you have another arrow. It goes to, instead of going that direction, you want to switch directions. Okay, so they take the wood, they create the pencil. When you're done with the pencil, you throw it away. So let's have a little trash can. Type trash. And then you've got one more arrow because after the trash, they take it to the dump. Oops. And it goes back in the ground. Ground. I need a type box. So your pencil life cycle is basically that it used to be something that was in the wood, was cut, you used it in school. Then it was thrown in the trash when it got too small to use anymore. Then it goes back into the trash takes it to a trash dump, and it goes back into the ground. A lot of it will actually go into the ground and be used again. Save that beautiful picture. How to obtain a resource. They're talking about the life cycle and how do they get the energy, right? Fresh water can be pumped for drinking, lettuce grown for food. Sand, gravel, and limestone can be made like mined for concrete. And this, I just highlighted this because we're talking a lot about concrete and how you use those minerals. So I don't want to forget that sand, gravel, and limestone make concrete. So now this is how they're getting drinking water. This is how they mine for sand. This is how they get solar energy. And this is the vegetable farming that can be a natural resource for our food. Some resources you can just use, like air, but some are like you need processing tools, right? So you can't just have vegetables that are planted. A lot of times you still need them to be harvested, watered, packaged, and there's a lot of processes to make concrete, okay? Because it has water, sand, and pebbles that need to be mixed together and then distributed. So now it's talking about the big skyscrapers. They're super large skyscrapers that actually work in Dubai. And if you've ever seen them, they're both glass and concrete, and they need a lot of sand. So they've used up all of the sand to make those skyscrapers. So how do you think the need for the sand affects Australian societies? Okay, so the sand is taken from the Australian societies and given to Dubai. So if they give it to Dubai, that means that Australia doesn't have any more sand. This is bad because the ecosystem needs the sand to protect it from flooding and other natural disasters. So Australia gives them all the sand, so now Dubai's protected. They've got enough sand, but Australia is now in danger. Okay, remember hands-on lab we're not doing because you're online right now. So I'm going to go skip through just as you're doing. Now we're on consumer use. The life cycle includes the use of customers. So that's why we need a lot of food, we need a lot of water, we need a lot of shelter, bridges, roads, buildings, because there's a lot of humans now. So different ways that you can handle different products after a customer uses them. A lot of us use plastic bags, can be thrown in the trash, or you can just reuse them. All right, this is the pencil that we drew. Look back at our pencil life cycle. How would reusing or recycling it change the life cycle and demand on resources? So if pencils were recycled and reused until they couldn't be used anymore, less wood would have to be chopped down in the forest. This means the life cycle is longer and there are less demands on resources because less wood is being chopped down. Okay, now we're going to do some math talking about getting land in Singapore and how they've had to use a lot of the area for sand and different things. So the total area was 626. In 2013, it was 716. How much did it grow? So they're giving you hints here. If you start at 716 and then, so if you start at 716.5 and they want the difference means subtract. So you're going to have to bring up a calculator. Okay, there's the calculator I found in my search. So 716.5 minus 626.4. Those are the numbers they gave me, and that equaled 90.1. So when I go here, it's hard to tell. I'm not sure if they want my answer or if they want what I'm subtracting. So let's see if they're looking for what we're subtracting. 626.4. Yes. So then they actually did the subtraction down here, 90.1. So first take the amount of added land and divide it by the original land. So the amount of land added was 90.1 and divide it by the original land, 62.4. Ooh, we gotta figure out what that equals. So 90.1 divided by 626.4, 0.14. So when we look here, 0.14, then multiply by 100. That's easy because you just move the decimal 2 times. They even put 14% here, which makes that really easy if you know that it's 0.14. Okay, so it increased, the land increase was 14%. Okay, much of the sand used to create the land has been imported from other countries, dredged from the floor, crushing rock. What is a scientific question about the use of sand? So, Singapore has used sand from many other countries and areas. How does this sand affect their ecosystem? Like, how does that affect them if they're using this much sand from this many different areas? How does this sand affect the surrounding ecosystem? That's an even better question. The surrounding ecosystem. Okay, so for exploration 3, we'll create a new video.